All right, so in this video, we're going to be talking about being in the assembly file and editing parts from within the assembly file, or even creating new parts from the assembly file. So with this right here, I have the beginnings of the cabinet of a pinball machine, and you can see that, you know, I didn't really take into account the front piece and the side walls. So I've got this little triangular gap that, you know, ideally I would like to fill so that it's all kind of one smooth transition. The other thing is that if I turn this on its side and change the display, you can see that my front wall has some pilot holes in it. But my sidewall does not. Okay, so I'm going to use this to be able to, transpose those holes from one part to another part by editing in the assembly file in place. All right, so first things first is how do we go about changing something that's already in existence? So first thing is you want to left click on the part that you want to change. So I'm going to left click on this front part here, and obviously there's a lot more options here, and one of those options, it looks like it's the fourth icon in from the top row, and that one is called edit part. All right, so I'm going to left click that. The assembly must be saved to perform this command. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. So I'm going to say sample pinball assembly cabinet. Whoops. There we go. And saving. Okay. So let me get out of that. Just do that one more time. So left click on the part after it's saved. The top row, fourth icon in, is edit part. And basically I'm in editing mode now. Okay, so things to keep in mind: down in the bottom right hand corner it says that I'm editing part. Up in the top it says front wall and sample pinball assembly cabinet, so it's telling me that I'm at that particular part. You'll also notice that there should be an icon that you're editing the part in the upper right hand corner. This is to exit that. And then also there's an edit component button here on the side. Okay, so all of these tell me that I'm in that particular edit mode. Okay, if we click on edit component, it's going to toggle back to my main assembly. All right, so right now I'm in edit component mode, and I need to make sure that that I'm going to be editing or basically adding a little triangular section to the top here. All right, so I want to be on a particular plane, and if I'm looking through my front wall part in the little Explorer window or the feature management tree, I can see that probably the right plane would be the best case scenario to create that little triangle strip, or to go ahead and do it in another view. But in order to do that, I probably have to either hide this wall or make it transparent. All right, so as of right now, I'm just going to use the right plane because it's in the middle, and I'm going to create a sketch on that particular plane. Okay, so with that done, I am now in sketch mode, and it says sketch 3 of the front wall. Also down below it says editing sketch 3, and my corner icon turns into exit sketch. Okay, you'll notice here in the ribbon I'm in the sketch tab, but my exit sketch button has shifted over to the right because we're in edit component of an assembly. Okay, so I'm going to see if we can change the transparency of objects. Okay, so that changes the transparency of the part. If we click on transparency for the rest of the assembly, it doesn't look like it wants to do anything there. That's okay. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and try to get this particular part by changing the display style to hidden lines visible, and maybe I'll go to wireframe. And what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to set, actually, you know what? I'll do it this way. This will be better. I'm going to pick on this plane. Okay. To create my sketch. That'll be, I think, a little bit more ideal. So let me exit the sketch. Let me click on this side wall and then hit new sketch. All right. Now I'm going to hit the space bar and normal 2. Okay, I'm going to zoom in and change my display to hidden line. That way I can see exactly what I need to see. And I'm going to use the line tool to go from endpoint to endpoint, straight up, and to create that triangle. Okay, so that triangle now lives right there. I'm going to exit the sketch, and now just like we would, we'd have to make a feature out of that. So I'm going to go over to the Features tab and again shift it over because we're an editing component inside of an assembly. So I want to extrude boss base, and I can see that it found my profile. And I know that this is 12 inches long. Get the right view here. So I'm going to go into my little properties box and type in 12. Hit the green check. Okay. And now that that is all flush, I've got this little bounding box saying that it needs to be updated. And either in the upper right hand corner I can edit the part or go back to edit component. So I'm going to exit out of this, change my display style back, and basically I am all done. So now what happens is my part, where's my front wall? My front wall has automatically saved that particular angle that was added onto it, and all that's left to do is to actually save the assembly. So I'm just going to hit save, and it's going to say the following models referenced in the document have been modified. So it's highlighting the front wall as being modified and the assembly that's been modified. So yes, I want to save all of that, and I've made my modification. Okay. Secondly, if I wanted to add holes into my sidewall, I'm going to do the same thing. Okay, I'm going to change my display mode so that I can see some of those hidden lines. And I'm going to left click on the sidewall, and I'm going to go to the edit part icon. And now that I'm in edit part, so I'm in sidewall, right down here it says editing part. I can see edit component is darkened or colored in or selected, so I know that I'm in the right area. And now I'm going to left click on that outside face, start a brand new sketch, and I'm going to normal to that particular view. And this time I'm going to try to use the circles that are already in existence. So I'm going to left click on hole number 1 and hole number 2. make sure you hold down Control so that you can select multiple entities. Holding down Control, so I select all 3 holes, and I'm going to say Convert Entities. So left clicking on Convert Entities basically makes those holes jump from the edge of my front wall to my sketch plane, which is the edge of the side wall. Okay, so I'm going to exit the sketch, and I'm going to go back to my Features tab and Extruded Cut. Okay, so now it's remembering that I did a 12-inch extrusion from last time. So this time, I know that I have a 1/2 inch thickness for my walls. So I'm just going to say 1/2 inch, and I'm going to green check. And I'm done editing my part. So I go back to Exit Edit Part, and I can change my display back to Shaded with Edges. And you can see now that I've got the holes on this side, and because I'm using that very same part, the holes are showing up on this edge here. Okay, so that is editing parts within assembly.